What is going on, guys? This is George. Welcome to another video. Today we're going to go over a little addiction I have, and that is collecting, as you see behind me, wrestling belts. There are 6 behind me right now, and I know you can see 3 of them. But I kind of want to go over these, especially since Wrestlemania 40 is on the way. So let's have some fun as we're getting here for 40, so I can show off my belt collection and explain kind of like the origin on why I purchased these belts. I also want to take this moment to congratulate Sting for almost 40 years of professional wrestling. I know I didn't watch AEW Revolution. I saw reviews of it, but I actually kind of like it that AEW went that far to commemorate Sting to the best of their mobility. I know there were WWE and WCW things missing, but we're not going to go into it. You couldn't have done it better, honestly. So what a way for Sting to go out. Congratulations, Sting, for over almost 4 decades. Who can say that? And hopefully he does well in his future endeavors. But without further ado, let's get started. So first here, we're going to start off with the Spinner Ruthless Aggression / PG Era WWE Championship. The reason why I like it so much is because I grew up in the Ruthless Aggression era, so this holds a nostalgia spot for me. That's why a lot of older fans really like the Undisputed title. I'm not saying it's a bad one, a bad-looking one, but not one that I would personally own, because it doesn't really look cool personally for me, but I can see why people really like it. It's got the scratch logo that I really like as well. Again, I'm not fans of the new W on there. I know we're trying to make it look more clean, but part of the fun of wrestling was how crazy they could be. And as I've been showing it off, it spins. So I get to play around with, like I said in previous videos, my overpriced fidget spinner. Anyway, no, I like the spinner a lot. I know why people don't like it, but I grew up with it, so it's like a nostalgia feel. Now these two. I know you probably remember this from my channel logo and on my intros, but I do hold the World Heavyweight and the WCW Heavyweight title. This one was from 1991 and 1994, and this one's been passed around from the AWA, NWA, I think they're right, WCW, and then WWE before it was retired. This version of the belt wasn't. Only last year it came back with a different design. But either way, these are the 2 belts that I have for my logo. The reason why I went with this WCW belt over the other one, there's a few reasons for that. One, because again, the WCW one did not have the scratch logo, so this one here does have a scratch logo. There you go. See, scratch logo. I like that over the current logo, like I said. Also, when I think of that World Heavyweight title, I think of it as the David Arquette and Vince Russo belt. If you know, you know. If you don't know, there are a lot of other channels that I've talked about WCW in 2000. There are definitely ways to look up on why people think of it as that belt and how much it got passed around a lot in 2000 as well. But fun fact about this one, I like this belt, so I purchased it. Now we're talking about the big gold one here. And I had this was actually my first title belt. Well, technically second. My first one was a WWE commemorative title, but that fell apart in like, what was it, 2-3 months it fell apart. It was like the last thing I purchased at Toys R Us when they were their own store. But needless to say, be that as it may, I have purchased this one. It's technically my first replica, and it holds a soft spot for me because of, again, this was the belt I grew up with, or one of the belts I grew up with. So I really enjoyed it. This is, again, another Ruthless Aggression / PG Era belt, which I did like. But yeah, I've liked these belts here, and so much so they are the icons to my YouTube channel, and WWE has not gone after me because of it. Please don't, I love wrestling. Now, next is going to be the United States Championship here. So this is the only belt I have with the current logo, which again, I'm not too big of a fan of. It's like the scratchiness is what I prefer the most. And it has definitely been a pretty cool title nonetheless. You know, I love how back when this was a title before they had the new design, this was really treated as a secondary belt, especially because it was on SmackDown a lot. This and the IC belt, the Ruthless Aggression Intercontinental title belt, that one I don't have, but I do like it still. I kind of like the IC belt over the US belt, but I got this one because, for one, it was something that I wanted to do eventually to represent America. That was a very bad Team America, though. When WWE Shop were doing their sales, this was on sale, whereas the Ruthless Aggression IC belt was not. So I think now they are on sale. A word of advice for those who do want to purchase replica belts, I suggest doing it during big sales. And you're mainly going to see those for the big four pay-per-views, or premium live events, whatever you want to call them. So like Royal Rumble, Mania, SummerSlam, and Survivor Series. That's when you're going to see a lot of these go on sale. Because they are a little pricey. But you always go for when they are on sale, because then obviously you get a better deal. But yeah, the US belt here, it's not a bad belt. Let me turn it around. It's not a bad belt. Had an itch. But like I said, it's not a bad belt. The newer design does look cool. It eventually grew on, but again, for Ruthless Aggression nostalgia is why I got this one. And now, to continue the scratch logo tradition, this is the WWF Stone Cold Steve Austin belt. Yep. It's got the F on it. Hang on, there we go. See? It's got the F. It's not covered up. Oop, I covered but the F. It's not covered up. It's there. But yeah, so the Stone Cold belt here. I actually bought this from a friend a few years ago. We were just talking about wrestling a couple times, and one week I show up, and he had a big Spider-Man figure just chilling in the back, and it was holding this. I was like, oh, that's so cool. And he was like, yeah, it's probably a placeholder. I'm like, oh, that's cool. He goes, hey, if you give me $100 of cash, it's yours. So I was like, okay. So I ran up to the ATM, grabbed $100, came back, gave it to him. He gave me the belt. Now, there is an unfortunate thing, and I've tried to fix this periodically. And if anyone in the comments can help, that would be great. Right here, it kind of fell off. It's still good. Like, all the others are fine as well. But it's just this one spot falls apart. And I can't tell you how many things I have tried to get this back together. I tried epoxies. I've tried other adhesives, other super glues, and it keeps popping back out. I've even had times where I would put it on the bottom, and I put books on top of it to hold it down. And when I held it down, I gave it like a couple days, came over, and I'm like, all right, it feels great. I'm like, all right. Like, if I hoist this in the air, and it just pops out again. So, I've tried numerous times to fix it. At this point, unless I can find another way to hopefully get a permanent fix, I'm just going to be like, you know what? I'm just going to leave it alone. And this will be kind of more of a decorative title, especially because it's almost 30 years old, this belt. So, if once I get like a bigger place and I get one of those cases, I'm going to get a big case and put this in it so that way it can finally be shown off its glory for the Attitude Era. Oops. For the Attitude Era, Stone Cold Steve Austin. Give me a hell yeah! And finally, this was a nightmare. Now, I'm going to give you guys a heads up. Normally, when I'm recording, I try not to cuss. Like, I don't count words like damn, hell, but the other ones. Some might be said. So, this is also my way to describe my experience with a company called DHL International. I had purchased this belt through eBay. And I bought it back in late February. So, I want to say the 21st. I was notified that it's going to take about 5 to 7 days. So I go, okay, that's not bad. About a week. I'm fine with that. Then I looked up the guy's profile. I'm not gonna bash the guy who I bought it from because he is a good guy. I forget his name offhand, but this has been a nightmare. Because I find out that with international shipping, it does take longer. And this belt was coming from Pakistan. And I'm about 20 minutes away from Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, in the U.S. All the damn nightmares I had to go through to get this belt was so annoying that I wanted to cancel the order. I said, you know what? It's not worth it at this point. And the guy's like, well, it's already been shipped. You should get it Monday or Tuesday. DHL fucking sucks. Because, first off, I had to get 2 different tracking numbers. Because I'm like, wait a minute, I only bought one thing. I didn't buy 2. No, the first tracking number, they erased it. I'm like, why would you erase that? Because it's there. For a while, I thought I got scammed. That's why I'm like, dude. That's why I went back to the guy. I'm like, dude, I want my money back because you clearly scammed me. Then I get a different number. And I'm like, okay, here we go. Now it's going to get delivered. Maybe there was a mishap. It happens. I'm hanging out with my girlfriend, and I'm like, this thing hasn't shown up yet. Let me just see. Maybe it's at my doorstep, and I was never notified. Apparently, they were at my house 3 times. And in those 3 times, no one was there to sign anything. I'm like, that doesn't make sense. Because if it was there, they would just drop it off. Because I'm used to international shipping, and I know that majority of the international shippers, they'll just drop it off, email me saying, hey, look, it's here, and then they just go. And what's weird is, I was talking to one of my neighbors. I said, hey, did you happen to see a DHL International truck stop by? They said no. Nothing was there. No one ever showed up. So DHL lied, saying that they were at my doorstep, apparently to sign a package. So I'm like, no, you're full of crap. I know that you were not there. And what really annoys me is, listen, I understand that there are ways to reach out to these people. There are ways to reach out to customer service centers, all that fun stuff. I hate, and I can't stress this enough, I hate the number that I found. The only phone number I found was to go to a robot telling me what to do. No, I want to talk to an actual human being. So we're going back and forth. I ended up creating a DHL account, which was pointless at this point. And to set everything up going, yes, here's my address. Yes, drop it off. No, I don't have to worry about a signature. I'm okay with you just leaving it there. So that finally gets set up. And then the previous 2 days, I call that 800 number again, and they go, oh, well, we need you to look into this. I did everything I need to do. So finally, I go to this stupid chat box so I can reach out to someone typing-wise. I'm like, no, I want to talk to somebody. And constantly, I've had to deal with this to the point where even my bosses are seeing me frustrated by this because I'm using the computer while I'm at work when I'm not doing something. And they're laughing because they can just tell I'm frustrated and they would be doing the same thing. And constantly, I'm trying to get this situated. No one's helping me. And it's just bullshit. It was total bullshit. And I can't stress it enough that I did everything. No one stopped by. And for the past 4 days, it was on hold somewhere. And then I finally get to a chat box where someone was able to go, do you want to just pick it up? I said, you know what? Fine. I'll pick it up. So I had to drive out to Sharon Hill, which is about 30 to 40 minutes away, depending on traffic. And I had to show up almost when they closed, because they were trying to close early. I said, I'm here to pick up my damn package. And I went through all that trouble, all that nightmare, all the damn hell that you could go for this. The Jeff Hardy TNA Championship. I feel better. How are you guys doing? The recent belt I got was the TNA Immortal Jeff Hardy title. Now, this is another one of those belts where if you are just looking at it without knowing the whole Immortal storyline, you're not going to like it. You're going to think it looks stupid. But if you look at the storyline and you saw what was being set up, and when Jeff Hardy was a heel in TNA, I thought that was pretty good until the Victory Road incident. And with the battle between Hulk Hogan and Dixie Carter, then they had this. Sorry, I had an itch in my armpit. They gave this to Hardy because he was the TNA champion. It was a risk. I know not a lot of people liked it. I was one of the few that did like it. Because despite him being a heel, I still liked Jeff Hardy back in the day. I always wanted to get one of these. And now that I look at it, the straps are blue, not purple! Straps are supposed to be purple. Unfortunately, they're really hard to find, so most of them are going to be blue. I still think it looks kind of cool, regardless of the strap color. But those were my championship belt reveal, I guess, as we're getting ready for WrestleMania 40. If you have wrestling belts and you want to take pictures of them, put them in here in the comment section. I also have a Discord where I have things divided for wrestling and Pokemon, if you want to talk about either or. Again, it's all in my Discord. I'll try to have a link in the description. And yeah, hope you guys enjoyed. This is George. I need to take a drink of water after yelling.